nice little session for you guys today on should I go direct or indirect and all the variables in between. You know what the biggest complaint is from hot women? It's that they don't get approached enough. They literally say that guys will stare, they'll observe, but they don't come over. And when they do, they act awkward around them, they get uncomfortable, which makes them feel uncomfortable. Even if they did like them, they find themselves dismissing guys just because they're acting awkward, even though she thought, actually he was kind of cute, but he's a bit uncomfortable among all my friends and it makes me feel uncomfortable too. When you ask a woman what would she prefer, she'll always say the same. I just want a man to be a man, just be confident and approach and direct. Now, that's exactly what she thinks, and I'm not saying she's wrong in that, but in that environment, if she was to actually think of, oh, that's what she'd prefer herself, a strong, confident man, the archetype of the tall, dark stranger, approaching, that's exactly what you prefer. Now, if she's in a group with all of her social friends, and they're celebrating a nice event, and maybe even got some guys around, maybe they're on a bottle on a table, and the same guy just walks up and in the middle just ignores everyone and just goes direct and states his intention, say, hey, I like you, you know, we should go grab a drink. It's kind of a little bit, the guy's a little bit weird now, right? Why? That's exactly what you wanted. But a guy who is socially intuitive and has been around normal social norms would not consider just walking into a group of people, ignoring everyone else and going direct and stating his intentions with one girl. It would just add an uncomfortability to the social vibe. You'd come in and open up the group. Now you can still go in directly. Okay, you can still approach directly without, for instance, first having warmed up the environment. This is where the variables get mixed, so it's no good asking indirect or direct because it's not as simple as black or white. You could go in direct, okay, stating your intentions, but maybe there's a difference between you've already warmed up the room. The girls across there, the hot ones, had already seen you with other girls. They'd seen the club owner react to you. They'd seen you on a table. They'd seen you with your friends in your sociable environment, and watch the animal creature in his natural environment, in habitat, and they noticed that you were a bit of a leader. People were reacting to you, they were giggling and laughing with your stories, and there was girls leaning in trying to touch you at the same time because you were fucking with them and being playful. And then you turn around and you go, boom, and you just go straight in there. Yeah, because already there's a certain level of sociability, your value, pre-selection, leader of men, everything was uploaded already. Every guy is different. There are different factors. Let me give you some of those factors that are going to come into it. We already said a presence, and that'll come into your fashion, your style, your grooming, and your physique, and your body language, how you stand. Okay, for instance, you can have a guy who's very confident, but when he goes in an environment he's not very comfortable with, like a guy who's getting into a fighting situation, he's not a fighter, he can be confident in every other variable in life. But in that one scenario, he's not that confident. His body language is going to react a little bit and he's going to be a bit uncomfortable, and she's going to sense that. Now, here's the thing, she's going to hang on when there's lots of guys around. In cities like Manchester or London or New York, she knows there are guys with a coin out there. So why should she settle for a guy who's just nice guy, you know, nice guy? Is he on his curve going up in the world? Now, you see, when there was a condensed area of successful men and people, and you'll have a lot more hot, beautiful women. So women at the higher ends are 9s and 10s. But that's why we've got to get a difference here between indirect and direct. If we're talking about, for instance, guy on a street game, you'll get a coach, he's on the street and he's doing a bit of infield video, and he's just walking up to some lone girl on her own. She's not in a group now, she's on her own. She's a tourist, she doesn't really know anybody. Just a guy with a bit of bubbly energy, nicely dressed. I didn't say a fashionista, just nicely dressed, basically not fucking scruffy, okay? Doesn't look, you know, overweight or unhealthy, which is normally something that, it doesn't matter about your physique, it just matters that you're not in the no box, the things that make them feel, oh, he's unhealthy. The guy approaches in the day game, does his street approach, okay? And it's going to be a lot easier for him to rack up some numbers. That's not a game necessarily, it's just a numbers game where, hey, you're a 7, you're a 6, you're a 7, she's a 6 or a 7, nothing special. Oh, we like each other. The guy was the first guy to speak to her, he lifted her, he stimulated her. You might not have even DHV'd, he was just asking nice questions. That might be enough. So in that scenario, going in, hey, there's something about you, I like you, that might work at that level. But you see the 10, she's just coming out of Louis Vuitton. She's got her own drop top Bentley. She's a bona fide 10. She's got her shit together and everything else. You walk up, boom, and you're just a nice guy. Why would she be engaged in a nice guy, some stranger on the street? Why would she need that? When in her social circle, she can be introduced to all the high value guys she wants, that she, in her friends will do the weeding for her. He's just going in, when they say direct, you can go in direct and state your intentions, which basically is saying, and this is the warning, you're saying, if you go in direct and state your intentions, I like you, we should grab a drink. If you're like that direct, you're basically saying, judge me. She doesn't know anything else about you. And again, it's great for the 8s below, unless of course she's got loads of friends around her. And that environment is great for 8s and below, but you are saying, judge me. You are saying, do you like my style? Do you like my presence? Do you like the way I speak? You're asking her to judge you fast. That's what you're doing at an unconscious level. So you go into the environments to get yourself desensitized so you feel better in those. And that's why a lot of the guys, if you're just practicing 6s and 7s and you reckon you're a 6 or a 7 yourself, then start hitting on approaching, working towards the higher level sets. You'll learn more on those higher level sets than you will sticking to just doing numbers and trying to get better at your approaches and justifying your own approach. As a great example, you don't want to go direct. You want to be indirect and just be the sociable, chatty guy and sharing interesting things and leading the conversation. Leading the conversation alone, what they call holding court, leader of men. If you learn how to do that and have interesting things to say in a work environment, you'll trigger IOIs very quickly from that environment. You've got to get some material, or go watch some things or read some shit, things that are interesting, and don't just talk about them once. Repeat it. Talk about the same thing 5 times for you to get comfortable saying and talking about a topic. Let's say something on the news you said that you found funny, but the first few times you say it, it's going to come across as a bit wooden unless you're really good at delivery. Then it's going to take another 5 times for you to get your delivery right. So you're desensitized to using it. Now your delivery is getting better. And then it's going to take another 5 times for you to start weaving in extra pitches. You're going to get distracted in your own thread and add some extra humor and pepper it in. That's about 15 times. Then it might take another 50 times for you to say the same thing over a period of time to lock it down into your unconscious. So you've got this bag of shit to say. Look at Style, he's like constantly using sociable tools and conversational threads. So wherever he is, he has a lot of shit to talk about. A sociable guy. Okay, so I said before, if you go direct, what you've got to understand is, just because you're going direct, doesn't mean to say you're necessarily going to say, hey, I like you, do you like me? Now again, at the lower ends and the lower levels, and if a girl's on her own, which is typically more day game, because the hotter girls, here's a fact, are not on their own. Because a girl on her own, she knows it's uncomfortable. If a guy hits on her and she just blanks him, he's going to be reactive, fuck you, bitch. And she knows that uncomfortability, because the guys, what they do, they wait to find the girl on their own. When they get hotter and they're more sociable, they don't want to get stuck into the conversations with the low value, needy, grabby guys trying to wait for the girl on her own. So they know that if you can work the group, girls know something about your social value. You can go direct in, boom, but you don't have to necessarily state your intentions. The pure direct is going in and saying, hey, I like you, stating your intentions. Again, it's a little bit easier if she's on her own and she likes you. But if your fashion, your styling, your grooming and physique is out, okay, your confidence or your body language, it's probably not working. There's nothing wrong with having a go. As long as you know that you're not going to react too badly to the rejection and you're primed for it, you're getting your being no bulletproof, you're getting your rejection shield up. If you're happy to do that, go in and do it 10 times. See how it's working for you. Then you might find, okay, it's actually not so bad. I've got 3 out of 10. Go direct for a bit. Keep doing it. Then notch up the level of the girl you're approaching. Go in, strong, boom, confidence, win over a group in front of her, and then boom, say there's something about you. Boom, I might go in, and I can go in direct, by the way. This is what we call a calibrated direct. There is something about you. You are not my type, but I'm drawn to you. Why is that? Help me rationalize here. Now, see the body language, the playfulness? That's fine. And I would use that when I'm warmed up, when I've already opened some adjacent sets, there's girls around me. Hey guys, you're back, you're missing a bit. So I've gone in, I'm going direct, but I'm leveraging the environment so people have already seen that I'm a leader. I've got pre-selection, I'm socially proof, people are reacting to me. Watch her responses really quickly, and what I'll follow up with, if she's struggling in that response or it's not going to go favorable, but I get it. Dancer, you've been a dancer, right? I didn't ask, by the way, I made a statement. There's a big difference between the guy who asks, seeks report, a guy who leads and makes statements. Boom. So dancer. Now here's the reality. I say that because I know 80% of the time women have done some form of dancing, or they'll say, oh no, it's more, there you go, yoga, boom. So guys will say, why can't you just come in and state your intentions? Because if you go in and state your intentions, you make high value or people in sociable groups uncomfortable, because you're basically saying, would you like some cock? And it's socially unintuitive to do that. What I'm really saying is they both work. It depends on the skill level of the guy, the confidence, and so many other variables, and you should learn both.